Hi guys, welcome to this video for sentence correction. Sentence correction is one of the very important part of verbal section for almost every exam now. Fine. Now this sentence correction video is part of workshop is part of the 12 workshop which I conduct for the exams. There's 6 workshop for the quant sections and 6 workshop for the verbal section. If you are joining us, I can promise you one thing, that you'll be able to clear the cutoff for any exam on the basis of these workshops for the verbal section as well as the quant section. Fine. So grammar and sentence correction is one of the 12 workshop there. Important wise, almost every exam including CAT for example will contain 3 questions. If you're taking GMAT, so probably around 50% of the GMAT verbal section is based on sentence correction. Fine. CMAT 4 question. SNAP and NMAT again 4 questions. CET will contain 3 questions. Almost every exam will contain 3 to 4 questions based on sentence correction. And trust me, this is one of the very difficult areas to improve. And most of students do it wrong. I've seen a lot of coaching institutes recommending don't do sentence correction at all. Fine, but I'll recommend the same thing, that don't do sentence correction at all. But rather than just leaving out all the question, you can pick up a few questions to do. Fine. So my objective of this workshop is to help you identify those questions which are coming off lately in almost every exam. So do those things to solve your questions. Fine, we'll do that thing. All right, before I jump onto those things, let's first try to understand what are the type of questions which are common in the sentence correction area. First question is a typical question, is a like a fill in the blanks where there is a first part, last part, and one part which contain the error part. Trust me, it's the most easiest type of question. If you see this question, please don't leave them, because the pre and the post statement are already given to you. Yep, the first and the last part is given to you, which will help you identify the error in the middle part. So again, a very easy question. Please don't leave these kind of questions. We're not following the question here. I'm just going to give you first the type of question which are coming. Fine. Now this is the second type of question, which the first part is a mistake, but the second part is given to you. A little bit more difficult than the last part, but still doable, because second part will help you identify the error. Third type of question, again similar thing, where the first part is given to you and you have to identify the error in the second part. Fine, this kind of question a little bit more difficult than the first part than second part, because now the complication of going, if you see the complications of the type of questions are complicated questions are going up. Fourth type of question, the CAT question. This is a ex-CAT question. Fine, of 1995. Fine, again the 4 different statements to find out which statement is correct. Fine, there's no starting point, there's no ending point. So these kind of questions have become more and more difficult to solve. Fine, because you have to link up the 4 statement and identify what is right, what is wrong. It's a little bit more difficult than the last type. And last time, which is the most difficult, unfortunately, CAT 2006, 7 and 8, last 3 years paper, when that CAT was online, used to be based on these 3. How the CAT have improved, the CAT, SNAP and all the exams have improved over the few years, and this continue to find which one or more than one statement are true. Trust me, this will make your life hell to solve the question. Fine, and because each and every statement is a different statement, so basically you're solving 5 different questions here to get your answer right. Very complicated kind of questions. All right. Fine. So these are the 5 type of questions which I've shown you. So you can expect any of these questions in the exams, but you'll not get anything outside these 5 type of questions. All right. Moving on to the next part. Now this is the main part here, that your accuracy will fall when you're doing sentence correction. Look at your mocks, look at your scores. Most of the time you have scored less or below average in sentence correction because of your accuracy, and that is the reason most of the coaching institute recommend you to leave leave sentence correction, because of your accuracy. Fine. So same thing I'll recommend here as well, that please leave sentence correction if you are not able to crack the question out of these SC12. Now SC12 are 12 guidelines which we have made. So these are the 12 guidelines which we had made at Cetking, which will help you identify the type of questions. So G strategy, keyword strategy, agreements, ingenious trap, one of my favorites, which I'm going to talk about in this video, pronouns, continuity, multiple tenses, idioms, basically word usage, passive, compatibility, and second line. So these are the 12 strategies which are more than sufficient to crack any exams. So rephrasing the word, so if you find any question which is outside these strategies, which is highly unlikely because these strategies are made after combining all the questions from SNAP, CMAT, NMAT, all the things have combined to make these strategies. They will definitely work for you. But if you're getting anything outside this, please leave the question, because these kind of questions, the sentence correction question, is there to break your speed. Fine. So ideally you should leave this question if you get anything outside these 12 guidelines. Fine. So moving on to the next part is your grammar and word usage. Now I've seen a lot of coachings who are recommending use your Hennen Martin, pick up your Hennen Martin, do it all, and you will be done with your uh, sentence correction. But if I look at the CAT exam, if you look at the SNAP exam, if you look at the CMAT exam, all the modern day sentence correction, they have evolved. Grammar is no longer the major part of the exams, or in other words, grammar is only 50% usage, is only 50%, whereas remaining 50% is word usage. Fine. A lot of students use options strategy, which is eliminating the options, uh, eliminate the option strategy to solve sentence correction. They can easily boil down. Suppose there are 4 options A, B, C, D. They can easily boil down to 2 options. That's, let's say A cannot be the answer and B cannot be the answer. Answer have to be between C and D. I can promise you one thing: whatever you will mark here will be wrong. Fine. Maybe some of you are able to do that right, but most of the time whatever you mark will be wrong. You've seen this in your mocks. It's a very common problem for everyone. Fine. All this thing happen because you focus mainly on the grammar, but you ignore the word usage. Fine. So weightage for both of them is 50-50. Alright. That's why Cetking G strategy have evolved according to that. Have evolved from that. Fine. So it's a 1, 2, 3 for the 4 step you have to follow in this strategy. Identify the guidelines, eliminate outliners, boil down, and the usage strategy. Fine. This is your main part where the usage come into picture. And trust me, if you're not doing this, the usage part, you are bound to do your question wrong. Fine. I'm not going to detail the G strategy in this video, but this is a very important strategy to follow. All my next 10 videos are based on this strategy. All right. So let's look at the first question now. Fine. After reading the morning newspaper, Mishika ate breakfast and will leave for work. So please pause the video and try to do it yourself. Fine. Now, if you've tried to do it yourself, I'm going to introduce you the first strategy, which is a keyword strategy. Fine. Again, the strategy is not important because I'm going to discuss each and every strategy one by one, but I'm giving you the flavor of the kind of things which I'm recommending here. Fine. First thing, keyword strategy is mark the keywords. Fine. So that we can easily solve the question. Now again, I'm going to use some options here, but that's not enough in its own. So Mishika ate breakfast and will leave for work. Let's do this one by one. So Mishika, after reading the morning newspaper, that's your keyword here. Mishika will eat and left for work. Alright. Now you are looking at the question. The moment you identify the keyword, we can feel that something is wrong there. Fine. After reading the newspaper, Mishika ate breakfast is alright, and will leave for work is out, because this is not matching up with the 8. So will leave for work is out. Mishika left for work, yes, possible. So left for work, possible. Mishika leaves for work, not possible. So will leave and leaves will be out. So we are down to 3 options. Fine. Now let's look at the second keyword. Mishika ate breakfast. After reading newspaper, Mishika will eat or ate? Ate. Mishika has eaten out. So answer is option number 4. Trust me, this keyword strategy works wonder. Fine. Now some of the exams are paper based. You can easily identify the keywords and mark them, underline them. But in the online exam, this becomes more and more difficult. That's why your CAT paper has given you a highlighter. You can use your highlighter to highlight the things, highlight the main keywords. Fine. Again, second statement. This is from the CAT exam. So please again pause the video and try to identify the keywords. Now the first task is to identify the keyword. If you're able to identify the keywords, your 90% of the battle is won. Fine. So there are two keywords, in spite and off, used here. So let's use one by one. Let's start with the off ka thing. Fine. The outdoor wedding proceeded as planned, in spite of the weather forecasters' prediction of torrential rains and powerful winds. So off torrential rains, off rains, off rains, from rains. So weather forecasting is from or off rains. Fine. From will be out. The answer have to be off rains. You are want off rain, not from rains. Fine. Now let's look at the second keyword, which is your in spite. Fine. So we were down to three options. 1, 2, 3. 4 and 5 are out. Fine. Now we have to look at the word usage. Word usage is very, very important in this case now, in these three statements. In spite of, despite of. Now despite of is an outlier here, will not be used here. Fine. In spite of the weather, in spite from the weather. Now here your idioms come into picture as well. In spite of the weather, the forecaster prediction. Answer is A. Fine. Now if you are getting the flavor, I'm using the keyword strategy here because the keywords are very, very important part of your exam. And of course this alone is not sufficient. Fine. Now again another big question. Now this is a very, very confusing question if you try to pause the video and do it yourself. Fine. But the moment I add the keywords, your life will become very, very simple. Fine. Try to do this yourself. Answer is C here. C, Calcutta. Yep, I not solve that question now. So Cetking G strategy works wonder here in this kind of question to help you out solve the question. And please, so these are the 12 traps or 12 guidelines which you have to follow. If you get any question out of these 12 guidelines, please do it. Otherwise, leave it. Because sentence correction is there to break your ice, to break your speed. Alright, now next part is how to prepare. Fine. First of all is GMAT PDF. Stop using any coaching institute notes if you have. Fine. Because they're not enough. They are morely focused on the common side of thing, or they are already picked up from the GMAT PDFs. So just Google out GMAT sentence correction PDF. You see millions of PDFs from Kaplan to Aristotle and all these things. Out of that, number one PDFs is Aristotle SC Grail. Sentence correction Grail is the number one thing which I'll recommend you. Fine, I'll post the link along with this video on cetking.com. Please download your own guide so that you can go through that. Fine. Third thing is Cetking 12 SC guidelines. So please, they are more than sufficient for you to crack any exam. Fine. Cetking eClass workshop. The complete workshop will be available for the Cetking students. So please go through each and every video. There are all these 12 parts are very, very important. Next is use the G100 strategy to solve the question. Last but not the least is avoid attempts. Avoid over attempting in the paper. You're gonna fall flat. Alright. So if you want to join us, please you can join us on cetking.com or 9820500380 for more details. Fine. So hopefully this video will give you an overview about what is the sentence correction all about. So just to summarize, your grammar is just 50% of your sentence correction. Remaining 50% is a usage. And trust me, each of you who is able to solve this question using options and all will be able to boil down to 2 options out of 4 or 5. But getting your answer right out of these 2 options is the main tricky part. Alright, which we are going to teach in this workshop. Alright, thank you.